on Sunday morning. I know you're very busy and giving time to Kachor and the platform and answering our so many questions. We have so many questions for you. Uh, so before I start, I'll just give a little bit. I mean, we all know about you. I mean, our community, Kachor, or beyond community, people know you. Your journey from being an NCC cadet and marching on Rajpath to becoming additional Solicitor General for Government of India has been very inspiring. Can you please take us through your journey, which I'm sure many people would like to hear?
Well, Tripti, I first of all apologize for this really embarrassing glitches at my end. I for the first time, it was not working. Anyways, I am really happy to be having this conversation with you. I mean, you are somebody who inspires a whole bunch of our community, citizens, and I have had an interesting journey, but let me tell you, it was not planned this way. It was a journey that I started. I come from a small town, Jodhpur, the gateway of Thar Desert, up in a very disciplined life, but with a lot of freedom. There was a lot of discipline, but there was a lot of freedom to do whatever you wanted to do whatever you chose to do. And so you were responsible about that freedom. KN College, BSc. I did not want to do law. Law was not my first choice. I actually wanted to be in the Air Force as a pilot. But now I can say, fortunately, I flunked that test. I failed that pilot aptitude test that I'd gone to give. And of course, that time I was disheartened. But then it was my elder brother who inspired me to take up law, who was already a lawyer by then. And he said, you should try this. And just baby steps, one small dedicated step at a time. You know how I did it. Sometimes I suggest, you know, imagined I would be here where I am. But I guess God's blessings, a lot of hard work for sure. I mean, without hard work, it's just not possible. But with hard work alone, also, it's not possible. A lot of hard work and lots of blessings, I would say.
So what are the attributes that one needs to develop to be successful? Because if I see someone to be successful, you are one of the first five name I would like to see, and a lot of people like me see you as a big inspiration. So what are the few attributes you would like to add on?
So there was a senior of mine who had it like a formula, and I really liked his formula. So that's exactly what I'm going to say. The three H's. So if you have three H's in your professional, and I would say personal life also, then it is a formula for success. It is a formula for you to achieve greater than you have set out to achieve, and make a mark for yourself and have a positive impact in the with your colleagues and in the society by and large. So those three H's are: first is hard work. Hard work is sine qua non. I mean, you can't get anywhere without hard work, even if you have. So all these three are mandatory. So hard work is first. And this the senior used to tell me that the this hard work thing he got from a plumber who was working in his house, and he said कि पानी का आप सीपेज ढूंढ लोगे. So the plumber said कि पानी और मेहनत अपना रास्ता खुद निकाल लेते हैं, उनको ज्यादा आपको चिंता नहीं करनी पड़ती. So I really liked his this explanation that mehnat, of course, hard work. Second thing is honesty. And when I say honesty, this is not an honesty in the sense of having, not using unfair means. When I say honesty in the profession or honesty in the personal relationship, it is about being honest to the work that you have taken and honestly do the best that you can. I mean, realize that what you have picked up is is something important. You are fighting somebody's cause, somebody's depending on you. So be honest to that, understand that. And
We can't hear you. We can't hear you. I think mute हो गया आपका. Your voice is gone. We can't hear you. Hello.
Can you hear me still?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So the third H is humility. एंड अपने यहाँ कहा यही जाता है कि आई मीन अपनी माएँ यही समझाती है कि जो जिस पेड़ में फल होते हैं वो पेड़ झुका हुआ क्यों होता है, क्योंकि उस पेड़ को ये रियलाइज होता है कि अगर वो तन के खड़ा रहेगा बिना ह्यूमिलिटी के तो हवा उसके सारे पेड़ों को गिरा देगी. So that's the third thing. I think humility is very, very important because you have to realize that it's not all because of you. Your hard work is important, but it is larger blessings, larger positivity, which play a very important role in your journey. And if it was left to you and you alone, not one of us is capable of achieving anything significant, in our lives without the millions and millions of myriad things coming together and falling in place just at the right time. So have that humility for the larger power and the blessings.
And that's so wonderful. Honesty, humility, and hard work. Yeah, because I remember whenever I exchange notes or chats with you, you have been always encouraging, saying these things constant, that do your hard work and just be what you are, and which is very wonderful. Also, when we see your life journey, Ukam, we have witnessed a very historical judgment by Supreme Court of India for women getting permanent commission in armed forces. And I understand you have worked very closely on that. What advice would you give to girls aspiring for the armed forces career?
Well, armed forces take a very different kind of personality. It is not that every woman can be a good soldier, but then not every man can be a good soldier. What it takes to be in service of the nation is something completely different. And if you have that in you, if you feel strongly about it, I mean, I have teenage children at home. I tell them the same thing now. I find them telling what my mother used to tell me, that even if you have given the job of cleaning the table, make sure that you put your heart and soul into it. And you should be, when you clean the table, people should notice that this table is cleaner today. So I was, I tell my children the same thing, that it's not about what you choose. Find something that is aligned with your passion, aligned with your choice. Then invest yourself, all of yourself in it. If you invest yourself in it, there is no way it can go wrong. It is bound to be to come out wonderfully. So if you want to, be a Golgappa chaat guy, then be the best Golgappa chaat guy in town. Just that is the focus. Whatever you choose, be the try to bring in excellence and all of yourself into it. And not just the matter, but armed forces is a life that I have admired from the beginning, because I was born and brought up in that. I always tell my father that you were only commissioned in the Air Force. I was born in the Air Force because I was born in an SSQ, the Station Sikh quarters at Jodhpur. So that's how it is. I think it's wonderful. It's a way of life. I will encourage everyone who feels they can be good soldiers in service of the nation, and they love that lifestyle, that discipline, that adventure, that adrenaline rush. Absolutely, you must go ahead and join it. Today's newspaper had this headline that there is a all-women commando force that CRPF has created. They will be fighting Naxalites. Cobra Force, this is called. It's today's headlines. And interestingly, this is the first of its kind in the entire world. So nowhere in the world there is a force like this, which is so highly trained, and all women, and they're going to be in this kind of warfare where it's proxy war and very hostile territory. So there is nothing that women cannot do. I mean, now is not, thankfully, we have enough examples in every field of women having broken glass ceilings. Many have been shattered, many are being shattered. Second judge of US Supreme Court was asked, RBG, we lost her 2 months back. She was asked that, did you aspire to be a Supreme Court judge? So she said, how could I aspire for something that in the entire journey, 200-year journey of my country, there had been only one woman? So you can't aspire for something that you don't see as an example. But
Yeah.
now there are in the world enough women in our country who are breaking barriers, doing what they want to do, doing what what brings the best out of them, and there's no stopping that.
Mhm. I think we lost your voice again. Can you hear me? All right. I think this
Sorry, back.
network is playing a good game with us today because we have a lot of questions to ask. It's wonderful. I've been working on Gurjor for over 8 years now, and honestly speaking, this platform has given me huge opportunity to meet some amazing families. I got to learn a lot. But there are times when I speak to families, few questions really stuck your mind, positive, negative. And one of the questions I shared also a few days back on our timeline, that when families say that we are okay for a girl to be working, uh, so why do you think it's a privilege for parents to say that? I mean, boys' parents, shouldn't it be a choice of an individual? What do you think on that?
Tripti, lasting changes can only come one step at a time and at their own pace. You know, when look at our generation, when we were getting married, how many professional daughter-in-laws did you see around, us in our generation or the generation
Right,
above us? We
right.
we are a deeply patriarchal society. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just talking about our country. The
Mm-hmm.
world has evolved, the modern world has evolved as a very deeply patriarchal society. Now,
Mm-hmm.
but I also want everyone to understand that patriarchy is not about gender. Patriarchy is that stereotypical mindset which a lot of men would have. But patriarchy is also that sinister mindset that a lot of women become part of.
Mm-hmm.
It is not gender specific. It is the mindset that is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And we need that mindset to change. It is shattering. And you're right. Families say that, oh, we will allow a daughter-in-law to work, and we don't mind daughter-in-law to work. We will welcome a professional daughter-in-law, and they think they are being progressive. It should
Yeah.
not be a person's choice at all, but it's going to take time. We can't. From the generation before us, we have seen a lot of change, and real lasting change will happen, Tripti, when we bring up our sons and daughters in a manner that our daughters truly believe and have the confidence that they can be anything they choose to be, and our sons grow up believing that they don't own their wives, their mothers, their sisters, their daughters. So that mindset has to change. And I think the change is coming slowly but surely.
Yeah, so but when you say that our male member in our community need to change a lot of things, um, which comes to my next question, that you are mother of two incredibly handsome boys, and they are in their college. What advice do you give to young Rajput men for being more respectful towards women?
Tripti, I think for our community, this is something that we have. This is part of our culture. This is part of our DNA because we are brought up like that.
Okay.
We are a community that has respected women, and women have played very pivotal and central roles in. They may not have played professional roles, but they have
Mhm.
played very pivotal roles in households and very important roles. Their opinions were not sidelined. Their opinions were sometimes the most prominent opinions in the household was of the so I think our value system largely has encouraged uh, we just need to, I mean, our young boys need to just respect women, and respect women in all forms and senses, not just as wives but as mothers, as daughters. Just because somebody is your sister, you have a different standard for her, and somebody is a friend, you have a different standard for her. So I think the point is that we just need to have respect for ourselves, respect each other for the human beings that we are, and see your life partners as your best friends. If you look at your life partners as your best, you are the change. you know uh, our husbands will not help at in the kitchen. Their generation was not brought up by their mothers to help out in kitchen, but our boys have been brought up helping us in kitchen, so they will help their partners also in kitchen. But that is really for all of us mothers to make sure that our boys and girls are brought up like that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very important for boys, especially, to treat their wife as equal. I mean, it's not like one has the upper hand and another need to, which obviously which comes to a greater question in our community. And before this, I was live before this also, where we had few glitches. So my question to you, Hukam, is. Besides dowry, I mean, a few years back, dowry was a big question in everyone's mind, and we all used to talk a lot about dowry and how we should stop encouraging dowry. बट जो अब सबसे बड़ा जो सवाल, अब सवाल से ज्यादा कंसर्न जो अब गठजोड़ के सामने भी आता है, वी एज अ कम्युनिटी वी ऑल फेस about great cases of separation in our community, and what are the key considerations which a woman should think when they are in this situation? Because separation cases, agar main the profiles, if I see, I get almost 2 to 3 profiles every week, or I get to know about these issues which are going on. So separation एक बहुत बड़ा concern अपनी community में हो गया है. So girls के लिए what will you say?
So, matrimony is not working out is a huge problem. That is a problem that we are seeing increasingly so. And that is also partly because women are standing up and saying no to taking nonsense in abusive relationships and abusive marriages. There are, of course, other reasons also. There is, sometimes they say they're not compatible for each other. So there are no grave differences. I think, that there is a saying in the matrimonial law that our professor used to tell us when he used to say that so long as there is love between the couple, they are not governed by any law. But as soon as love goes out of the window, the law comes from the door. So law will be coming in the door only when love goes out of the relationship. But if love and respect and care has actually gone out of the relationship, I, as a lawyer, would advise everyone that please go through the process of counseling once. It's not, you could choose your mutual friends, elders in the family that you both respect, counseling, either which ways. I mean, we have wonderful networks in our family, so we could choose that. And then if it does not work out, then I think it's very important to be cautious and circumspect about what is the steps that you are taking. It's we also see, I mean, as a lawyer, I see a huge trend in lot of cases being foisted just for the sake of it, just to put pressure on each other, and both sides are doing it. And actually a lot of blame has to come to my community, because when they go to lawyers with disturbances, lawyer says 5 FIR करते हैं, उस 5 FIR की ये मैं फीस लूंगा और ये. So but FIR अगर आप, when close relationships, now matrimony is a close relationship, it's a very intimate relationship, when that goes wrong, then it becomes really ugly. So it is best to iron out as much differences as you can mutually. These are not battles you can win in courts of law. Even if you ultimately win a matrimonial case, that is more like a Pyrrhic victory, because by the time you get it, by the time, so much of time and energy and effort and money has gone into it, time is important. If you want to, if it's not working out, if you're certain and sure about it, then please find a respectable way to get out of it, rather than and move on in your life. Move on. I mean, you're yourself saying that you get off these profiles of people wanting to move on, and it's absolutely fine. I mean, 100 years we've come a long way. 100 years back, Raja Ram Mohan Roy had to fight that battle of widows to remarry. Otherwise, widows were, their hair were heads were shaved off, and they were sent off to Vrindavan or Calcutta. They were not allowed even in households. It was considered bad omen to look at them. And a remarriage of till 1956, divorce was not possible in Hindus. So things have changed. There is a lot of change, and I think every person should have the right to decide on what he wants from his life. But my advice still will be, please don't take these decisions in haste. Please allow yourself to mull over your life. Take a few days, take a few weeks if it's necessary, but you need to be sure of what you want and find a respectable way to move forward. Bitterness gets nothing, nowhere, unless you have a really physically abusive relationship. If you are in a physically abusive relationship, then the criminal justice system has to be moved.
When you said that things have changed, people have moved on, and saying that I get a lot of questions, profiles. But at the same time, Upam, what concerns me is whenever I get profile of a Rajput girl, and whenever we search for a profile, our community is still not open for a divorce profile. When I speak to families of boys who are looking for remarriage, they simply say, we don't want a divorced girl. They're not open with the idea and even the thought process that even our son is looking for remarriage. So why not marry a lady been through rough marriage? So that need to be changed. Even when girls want to move on, they want to start their life again. Our community is still not there. अभी भी कहीं ना कहीं वो हिचक है कि नहीं, हम लोगों को डिवोर्स प्रोफाइल नहीं चाहिए. And I try from my end to explain to the families that look, even your son is married, he is divorced. अगर आप कोई गर्ल को चाहते हो कि वो आपके सन से शादी करे who's already divorced, so why not marry your son to a lady? So that need to be changed. And when you talk about counseling, but where I come my next question. काउंसलिंग अभी भी अपनी कम्युनिटी में इतना ओपन नहीं है. People don't go to counselor. I don't know why. But I think, what do you advise? If you look at legal point of view, your legal option, even before going to legal options, as you have already mentioned, कि counseling is something which they should really opt for, and it's very necessary because see, when we talk to our family members, वो sides लेके बात करते हैं. They will not give you a honest opinion. Being a third person. So what do you advise on that?
So you raised a couple of points, Tripti. You are absolutely right that there are lesser options for women who are looking at a second inning, so to speak. And of course, for the men who are looking at second inning, they don't want women who are looking for second inning. So it's hypocrisy, completely hypocritical. But we have to change. Of course, we have to change, because what is at stake is far more. If we are not going to allow our daughters, our sisters to reintegrate because she had a bad relationship, because she had a bad marriage, that cannot be an attribute to her. I think it's going to take far more courage from us to be doing this, and I think all of us need to support women who have gone through tough times. The second aspect you raised was with regard to professional counseling. I mentioned a family member or a mutual friend because sometimes you have Masi hogi, Mama hoga, not maybe immediate family who's in the helm of affairs, but it is up to you. It's each one's circumstance. If you feel there is somebody who both of you respect, it can't be one person's respect alone. This is an equation in which there are two variables. So both variables have to feel
Yeah.
that they can trust, and so sometimes those are early times in a disharmony in a marriage, because often I have seen that I have seen examples of normal wear and tear of married life also being escalated to a point of no return. Now there is a difference. I mean, normal wear and tear is something that is recognized in law also, and it is not a ground for breaking matrimony. But the point is that we have to. So some of these elders interventions can tell you, oh, what you are really getting too much worried about is a normal wear and tear of any relationship. It's not about just husband wife living together. Even if you live with friends, live with your mother, live with your brother, there are adjustments you have to do. I mean, two persons staying together. But yes, if things become more serious, and these are stages, try that first. If that does not work out, then absolutely go for professional counseling. If you can save the relationship, both, because sometimes when you're talking to each other, you can't take that hurt out. There's an interesting saying that a lawyer should never represent his case. So this is a unsaid rule in our profession. And I used to feel, why? I mean, clients know their cases best, and a person who knows where his pinching should go out and do it. But that is not an effective tactic when you are looking at a dispute resolution. And when you are looking at a dispute resolution, you need dispassionate person to be doing this, in a manner that inspires confidence in both sides. That is where professional counseling helps. And even if when we go to matrimonial codes, let me tell you, Tripti, in the statutory framework also this is inbuilt. Mediation centers in all matrimonial courts, high courts, every district court, they are doing brilliant job. They are trained mediators who are trying to see that you parties can come out of differences, either agree to agree or agree to disagree. You can completely agree to disagree, but find a way out to minimize the bitterness for the next generation, and unnecessarily for the whole family. So that is the whole prospect of bringing a counseling, a mediation, so that you can find easier way out of your disputes. It should absolutely be done. But the problem is, Tripti, that a lot of people are going into FIRs. जैसे ही शादी में छोटा सा भी झगड़ा होता है तो वो FIRs में चले जाते हैं. अब FIRs में जाना is not very commendable, because that's a point of no return. If you are going to be wanting to send your in-laws or your husband, anybody, to jail, then there is, I mean, then it becomes very, very dirty. And there is nobody wins. So that is a route I will tell everyone not to take, unless you really have a issue of physical abuse.
Yeah, so one of our viewers says, traditionally the elders of the family used to act as a counselor with texture of modernism, seeing in young couples acting independent. They don't really value the guidance of elders. Yes, professional counselor gurus, life gurus are required. What do you say, Upam?
Absolutely. I think we just covered that. So the first tier has to be the family elders or any friends, mutual friends. If you don't have it, just go to the next tier. These are just tiers. And then third tier should be, going to a matrimonial court should be after you have gone through these phases. Don't just rush for an FIR.
Yeah, this is very worrying because और especially जब हम बात करते हैं divorces के या separation की, ये पिछले 2-3 साल में बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गया है. I mean, when we talk about separation, people feel cheated on. I mean, there are people who lie about their financial background or education, or I mean, in recently I've heard cases कि शादी हुई है, दूसरे दिन ये लड़का बोल रहा है कि I've married under force and I'm in love with somebody else and I don't want to be in that marriage. So girls बड़े ही एकदम vulnerable situation में आ जाती है. मतलब how do we protect them? I mean, in such a fraud, and how do they safeguard from all these things? Because for lifelong उनके ऊपर एक अलग तरह का तमगा लगा देती है हमारी society कि she's a divorcee, and knowing the fact that she's not at a fault. I mean, जब लड़के में इतनी शादी कर लो पेरेंट्स के अंडर फोर्स में, एंड शादी के इमीडिएट बाद में या हफ्ते भर बाद में 10 दिन बाद में वो बोल रहा है कि नहीं, आई गॉट मैरिड अंडर फोर्स एंड आई डोंट वांट टू बी इन दिस रिलेशन. But for a girl, it's not easy. I mean, what should she do then? I mean, just stepping out of the marriage immediately, it becomes very tough because keeping in mind our community, we are still very conservative when we talk about divorce or separation or a divorced girl. So, what do you have to say? How should girl deal with it?
So, Tripti, I am going to take my experience as a lawyer, and it's not community specific, but I would say
Okay,
that
yeah.
women continue to live in abusive marriages,
Mhm.
continue to live in harrowing marriages
Mhm.
because of two reasons that I have understood and analyzed out of my experience. One is they don't have the economic wherewithal to live their life themselves.
Mhm.
And secondly, they feel that social pressure, the social stigma, ki, parents used to say earlier, I mean, not anymore, but this is changing.
Yeah.
Earlier,
Yeah.
parents used to say कि तेरी डोली जा रही है, तेरी अर्थी उसी घर से उठनी चाहिए. This was such
Yeah.
a said and done thing in our society. That is what was
Yeah.
understood. But things are
Yeah.
changing, Tripti. Things are changing.
Mhm.
Today's parents do not want to allow their daughters to be living in marriages where they are beaten up.
Mhm.
Physical abuse koi nahi seh raha hai. They are bringing their daughters back because daughters are not dispensable for
Yeah.
parents anymore. That is first
True.
aspect. Second aspect is, if you want to face any adversity in life, and I'm not just talking about a bad matrimony, life has its ups, life has its downs. We don't know
Yeah.
what is there for us in store. But if you want to live meaningfully through the life's adversities for yourself, your family, your loved ones, you each one of us has to strive to be economically independent. I'm
Mhm.
not saying take your money and run away with it. I mean, but you must earn money, because economic independence and economic strength gives a different kind of confidence. You can
Mhm.
be an asset. I mean, you can help out in your own family, help your own children better, help yourself better, help your parents better. It's not,
Mhm.
I mean, gone are those days that you are, as daughters, you don't care for your parents, it's the son's responsibility. No, things have to
Mhm.
change from both ends, Tripti. While
Yeah.
parents are standing up for daughters, daughters also need to stand up for their parents and take equal responsibility for taking care of elderly parents, grandparents, and sort of try to. So it has to be on both sides.
But Hukum, when we talk, so a part of my question was कि जब लड़कियों को पता चलता है हफ्ते भर बाद में ही that boy married under force or is not interested in this marriage. So in that situation, I mean, 10 दिन की शादी, 15 दिन की शादी, साल भर की शादी, what is I mean, what safeguard should girls take? I mean, in that situation.
तृप्ति, एक तो ड्यू डिलिजेंस शादी से पहले होनी ही चाहिए. दूसरा, कई बार ये फ्रॉड्स हो जाते हैं. आप कितना भी ड्यू डिलिजेंस कर लो, फिर भी फ्रॉड्स हो जाते हैं. लॉ में हर चीज की रेमेडी है. There
Okay.
you can file FIRs for forgery. You can put somebody to task for
Lost your voice again.
disconnected. What I'm telling you is that people don't take recourse to those remedies because of the social pressure or not having the option of economically sound. Otherwise, if you have been defrauded, please don't take it. We have to have zero tolerance for this fraud. I think these frauds continue to happen with impunity because we are tolerating them. Expose them.
Yeah, yeah, I think parents will need to work on it because still abhi bhi jaise, see, first hand it's the girl and the parent who go through a lot of pressure. Forget about the external group. When you talk about circle, inner circle, outer circle is always there to just talk about you. I mean, कि लड़की घर आ गई है, इतने दिन से घर पे है या whatever. We will not stand there and support and let's figure out what it is all together. I mean, that is must. Even before going to a counselor or anyone, I think it's important for extended family members to be together. And I think over the time, ये communication gap जो family के अंदर भी हो गया है कि बात बाहर नहीं जानी चाहिए, लोग बात करेंगे, वो एक बड़ा आई थिंक एक कंसर्न फैक्टर है, बिकॉज पीपल डोंट ट्रस्ट ईच अदर एंड उनको लगता है कि लोग बात ही बनाएंगे, दे ओनली क्वेश्चन सो मेनी एंड इट बिकम्स लॉट ऑफ प्रेशर फॉर द girl or the boy who go through all that trauma, so which is very very important. Yeah, I mean, ITC की जो आपने बताया, which is very important for girls, but a real guidance, I mean, they need to approach the real, I mean, lawyer who can guide them properly, because sometimes, as you also said, कि, I mean, dates पे dates आ जाएंगी या FIR पे FIR they'll keep doing. So a proper guide who can tell them that this is the remedy you can take, and just sit and talk and figure it out, which is very important. So
Tripti,
in that, what do you
this
want to say?
yes, this I would certainly like to recommend. If you know somebody personally who's a lawyer and who you trust, then go for advice. If you don't know anybody personally and you can't have access to a lawyer that you trust, I mean, your family or somebody trusts, then I must tell you, now there is a mechanism of legal aid which is available in every court in every district across the length and breadth of the country. So these, if it is a criminal case that you are dealing with, I mean, if it's a fraud, if it's physical violence, etc., then you approach through the criminal justice system. And if it's a matrimonial wrong, there are counselors in all the family courts. Now, a family court is another aspect. There are counselors that we have already covered. What we are now talking about is if you have to take recourse to the criminal mechanism. So every district court would have a legal aid committee. These legal aid committees at the national level are headed by the Chief Justice of India. Every state also has a state legal services committee, which is headed by the Chief Justice of that state. Under the aegis of that supervision, these committees are existing. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the money is given completely by government in terms of the mandate of the constitution. And also there is a law, there is an act of 1987 under which this has to be done. But it is run completely under the supervision of the judiciary themselves. And there are very good lawyers who volunteer for pro bono work in these committees. So if you have problem in trying to find, lawyers that you can trust, please approach these committees. Governments are giving huge sums of money for this. There are good lawyers who are available there. And best of all, these are available for people who are either low income group or middle income group. So both groups are available. If your income is below a certain degree, then it's free. If you're a middle income group, that also you pay very minimal. What is very important to note is that for women and children, disabled persons, this legal aid is completely free. Irrespective of your financial standing, this legal assistance is completely free of charge, available to us by the constitution, by the government, and by the judiciary. So please avail of it.
That's a wonderful thing you shared, Ukam. Also, talk about remarriage for the girls. In our society, we don't have an option of prenup because we are still not that modern. So what should a girl do before getting for a second marriage? What are the points she should keep in her mind so that she doesn't go through all the turmoil again? Because see, even the thought process of remarrying, obviously she'll come up with a lot of emotional burden with her. So what do you think? What do you suggest on that?
So apart from the two fundamentals, that have confidence in yourself, and don't let anybody tell you there is anything that you cannot do. Those are the two fundamentals. Be a little cautious on your finances. Be a little careful so that I mean, if you run into rough weather again, if you run into an adversity again, then you have the wherewithal to stand up, dust yourself, and get up and move on. It's not like life will not throw adversity. If not through matrimony, there will be other ways. There are other ways. I mean, we all know, I mean, that's how life is. But the point is, legal options are available for you, legal help is available for you. But if you don't have the confidence to bear the, you have the strength to go against the current, because if we are women looking at second innings, or having our way, then we are sort of still swimming against the tide. So you need greater strength if you're swimming against the tide. So have that strength, and secondly, have that the finances to weather yourself through rough times.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important for her to be working, because financial independence is must, so that at least she's not dependent on anyone before she takes that one step. And that confidence is very important to any girl. We have been talking about girl remarriage or girl choices a lot, but I have to be very fair with keeping in mind boys' point of view, because see, a lot of laws, they favor women mostly, because um, they have the upper hand. But sometimes boys are in a vulnerable situation, and though the cases are very rare, if boys family is being threatened, what step can family take to protect uh, safeguard themselves?
So, Tripti, you are right. The laws are more for protection of women. That is the mandate of the Constitution. And that is not just in our country. Let me tell you, this is because the whole mindset has been patriarchal. So, it was important to have laws which offer greater protection to women. But you're right. There is a lot of abuse of these laws that is happening. There is a lot of cases that are completely false and forged cases that are foisted on the. I have seen that matrimony going wrong, and a case of rape being foisted on father-in-law, brother-in-law, to make it even tougher. So these are occasions that come to you as when you are practicing law. You do get these examples. These are still minority comparison to in compared to the harassment and abuse that women suffer generally in society. But importantly, this is that is why we have courts of law, to separate the chaff from the grain. And there are provisions which are available for for taking action against somebody who has dragged you into a malicious case. That is a provision in IPC itself. You can file a case for malicious prosecution if somebody has dragged you in a wrong case. You can file a case for defamation if somebody has caused disrepute to you. And the options are available in law. But the point is, you will have to be cautious. Bad things and bad experiences happen with men and women both. uh, Laws will not change just because there are examples of these abuses. That is why we have courts of law to strike out these wrong cases. But then it is a lot of difficult times that family goes through, and the option of malicious prosecution only comes towards the end of the case that has been wrongly foisted on you. You have to go through the grind. But that is why I say, I mean, if we can do things in a respectable manner in these intimate relationships, then you take away a lot of this abuse. So I think I will tell the girls who are doing these false cases and their families that ultimately you get nothing out of this. I mean, they may get an ego boost by doing these 5 FIRs against the husband's family, but what do they gain out of it? Nothing. There is absolutely no gain. So please don't look at this short term, and trying to find a respectable way out of the problems.
Because yeah, even when we were discussing, you were saying amicable divorce is much better than these mudslinging and FIRs and unnecessary using wrong means of practice to get a divorce or a upper hand. So yes, and also to take down from your talk, finance for the girls especially, that keep your finances properly. Emotional and mental health is very important, and keep your support system very intact. Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your time. And I know we initial hiccups were there, thanks to the technical. But your time was very precious, and thank you so much for answering a lot of our questions. If we'll get more questions, we'll request you to give us more time, because I understand you have a meeting at 12, so we would not take much of your time. And I would just again say thank you for giving us your precious time, ma'am.
Thank you, Tripti. It was an absolute privilege and honor for me to be having this discussion with you. Of course, you are my lovely sister-in-law, but it's wonderful. I have a lot of respect and admire the work that you do, and more power to you and to your tribe. What you are doing is also a completely novel thing. I mean, one did not know that these things could be done before you were here. So I have a lot of respect for you. Please continue the good job and keep it up. I am happy to be partaking in any positive activity that you think I can contribute in any manner. Lots
Thank you
of
so
love
much.
and Kamagani Tripti.
Thank you, Okam. Kamagani. Thank you so much, people, and we'll be very happy if you have more questions. I can send it to ma'am, and she'll be happy to take your questions. And hopefully, we'll be able to bring her again on live session so that we can answer more questions. And thank you so much for being very kind viewer. And I wish and pray for a wonderful Sunday of you all. Thank you so much, guys. Kamagani.